Question number 19. What is the fraction of mass of water due to neutrons? See, in case of a water molecule, you have got one hydrogen, one oxygen, and another hydrogen to be bonded together. Correct? Idala, hydrogen it has got only one proton and one electron. It doesn't have a neutron at all. That is why its mass is 1. Proton hydrogen has got only one proton. Whereas an oxygen atom has got 8 protons and 8 neutrons. Okay. So how many neutrons are there? 8 neutrons are there. So here, what is the mass of water, fraction of mass of water due to neutrons is the question. Right? So what is the total thing? Total mass evadama? Total mass of a water molecule, how is that you can take? It is nothing but 18. Correct? 18U you can take. So total mass is 18U and mass of 8 neutrons will be what? 8U. Can you say that?
Yes, ma'am.
Because each proton and each neutron you can approximately take that its mass is 1U. Okay. But therefore, what is the fraction of mass of water due to neutrons? It will be 8 out of
8
total.
by 18.
18 is that of water. So 8 is because of neutrons. So fraction of mass of water due to neutrons is nothing but mass of neutrons divided by the total mass of one molecule of water. So approximately it is 8 by 18. Why should you say an approximation? Because not always you have it as 1U. Okay. Adanalu or approximation mention panikalam. So answer is 8 by 18. If you have written this answer, you will get 2 marks for this question. Question number 20. Does the solubility of a substance change with temperature? Does it change? Yes. What happens? With an example they are asking you. For example, when you try to dissolve sugar in water, normally dissolve pandradha vida, when you are increasing the temperature, it dissolves faster. And also, after a complete level of dissolution, if in case you increase the temperature, you can further dissolve some more of sugar as well. So solubility increases with increase in temperature. So that way you can explain. So writing yes for this carries half a mark. And for any example, salt in water or sugar in water, that example idea for that half mark. And how you explain that idea for that 1 mark. So totally 2 marks for this question. Okay. Question number 21. Classify on the basis of their atomicity. Atomicity means what? How many atoms are there? So A pathina F2. F2 molecule has got 2 atoms, correct? 2 fluorine atoms. So atomicity is 2. What is it for B? NO2. Ore N, rendu O2. So it is what? Totally 1 plus 2, totally 3 will be the number of atoms. C N2O will be again 3. For D, C2H2. What is it? 8. E P4. So 4. F H2O2. 2 plus 2, 4. G P4O10. So 4 plus 10, 14. HO3. So it has got to be 3. I HCl. Hydrogen, chlorine. So totally 2 atoms are there. So 2. J CH4. C and 4H. So 1 plus 4, 5. K HE. It is 1. L. It is Ag. That as well is 1. So this is the classification based on atomicity. Monoatomic, diatomic, triatomic, whatever you can write. Other than that, you will mention them to be polyatomic. Okay. If it is 2, then you write diatomic. 3, triatomic. Like that. If in case it's above 3, you go with polyatomic. Clear? Right. Question number 22. You are provided with a fine white colored powder, which is either sugar or salt. How would you identify it without tasting? So the question is, you have to identify it. How will you identify it? So sugar, when you heat it, This will melt or it will get charred. Okay, charred means what?
Ma'am,
Brown.
I wrote another answer. Can I say,
Okay,
ma'am?
this will not get charred when you heat it. This is one difference when you're heating it in a vessel. Okay, the next idea is you can actually
Or
dissolve
you can
it,
also dissolve in alcohol, no, ma'am.
not in alcohol, rather you can dissolve it in water and check for conduction of electricity. Salt solution will conduct whereas sugar solution will not. Okay, with distilled water you can test it. That is another way of doing it. Okay, for this question it carries 2 marks. Any one way of identification you can give. And the previous question, totally you have got 12 subdivisions. So for each subdivisions it carries quarter mark. Okay, so you get how much? 3 marks for this particular problem. Sharia? So for identifying the numbers, each carries quarter marks, that is 1/4. Okay, so totally 3 marks for this question number 21. Question number 23, calculate the number of moles of magnesium which is present in a magnesium ribbon which weighs 12 gram. So what is it, ma? Given mass is 12 gram divided by molar mass. When you do, you will get the number of moles, correct? So number of moles is equal to given mass by molar mass, which is 12 divided by 24. So you will get it as half, or 0.5 moles is your answer. So for writing this formula, you get half a mark, and for substituting the data, half a mark, and for the final answer along with the unit. If the unit is not there, half mark will be cut. Okay, so 0.5 moles for the final answer, it is 1 mark. So totally 2 marks for this question. Next question, verify by calculating that 5 moles of CO2 and 5 moles of H2O do not have the same mass. What is it, ma? 5 moles of CO2 and 5 moles of H2O do not have the same mass. So now what is that you have to do? You have to find the mass of 5 moles of CO2. What is the mass of 1 mole of CO2? What is it, ma? For
Ma'am,
carbon,
1 mole of CO2 is equal to 5 moles.
no, first of all, we have to find the molar mass of CO2, right? So 12 plus 2 times 16, what it will be? 44 grams.
44 gram.
This is for 1 mole of CO2. So what is the mass of 5 moles of CO2? 5 into 44. How much that will be?
220 grams.
220 grams.
220 grams. Okay. Now let us find it out for 5 moles of H2O. So mass of 5 moles of H2O. You know, for 1 mole it is 18 gram. So 5 into 18. Correct? Huh? This again, here it is 5 moles and here it is 5 moles of CO2 H2O. The path what is it? This one it is 44 and this is 18. Na? Which is greater? CO2. So 5 moles of CO2 will be heavier, or its mass will be greater compared to that of 5 moles of H2O. Correct? So adile therinjirum. What is the answer you will get here? 5 into 18? 90 gram.
90 grams.
90.
So obviously the two are not equal. Abdinradha mattum mention man. Okay, they are not equal. So that is what they have asked you to find. Verify by calculating that these do not have the same mass. Yes, they do not have the same mass because mass of 5 moles of CO2 is 220 and that of H2O 5 moles is 90 and they are not equal. Okay, right. So to explain this part, this first part of the question, it carries 1.5 mark. Totally 3 marks for this question. So for this first part, this 1.5 marks, you should have found out for 220 and then 90 half a mark. And then the last half mark is for mentioning that they are not equal in words. Fine. 1.5 marks for this. Subdivision B, 240 gram of calcium and 240 gram of magnesium elements have a mole ratio of 3:5. So now you have to calculate and check whether the mole ratio, that is the number of moles, Okay, number of moles of calcium divided by number of moles of magnesium is equal to 3 by 5 is what you have to prove. Okay, so what is given mass? 240 gram. What is molar mass for calcium? What is the molar mass of calcium? For calcium, what did we get now? Do you remember the table? And in the fourth unit, you have discussed about the value of calcium. Atomic mass பத்தி discuss பண்ணும்போது calcium க்கு 14 பார்த்திருக்கீங்க. Do you remember in terms of isotopes and isobars discuss பண்ணும்போது நம்ம பார்த்திருக்கோம். So atomic mass of calcium is 40. So given mass by molar mass, the number of moles of calcium, you can take given mass 240 divided by molar mass is what? 40. So divided by m of magnesium and number of moles of magnesium and கண்டுபிடிக்கணும்னா magnesium को given mass 240 divided by molar mass is what? இப்பதான previous problem பார்த்தோம். magnesium என்னமா? It is 24. Correct? So you will divide this by 24. So what will you get here? 24 by 4. What this one will be மேல numerator la 6 divided by. இங்க 24 240 divided by 24 na this will be 10. So 6 by 10. So again, 2 3 times, 2 5 times. Yes, right, true. We have got the ratio as what? 3:5. So hence you have shown that. Clear? So in the particular setup, either finally prove பண்ணி கொண்டு வரதுக்கு half a mark. So அதுக்கு முன்னாடி இந்த given mass by molar mass போட்டு இது 6 moles அப்படின்றதுக்கும் இது 10 molesன்றதை கொண்டு வரதுக்கும் half plus half mark. So totally 1.5 for this part of the question. Okay. You have to find ratio by mass, okay, for each of the combining elements. So in case of CaCO3, you have calcium, carbon, and oxygen, right? Calcium, what is its mass? It is 40. For carbon, it will be 12. And oxygen, actually, there are 3 oxygen atoms present in this one. So it is 3 times 16, you can write it as. So this is the ratio that you have to put up with, okay? So I can do some cancellations here. 4 10 times, this is 4 3 times, and here this is 4 times you can cancel. So you'll get it as 10:3:12. So this is your answer for the first subdivision. Similarly, you will be doing it for the second one. What is B they have given? The numbers are a bit jumbled, so please don't mistake that. B is MgCl2 over here, right? So MgCl2. What is the mass of magnesium? Mg it is 24. So 24 is 2. Chlorine, it is 2 in number, correct? So Mg and Cl. Cl is 2 into 1 chlorine atom is 35.5. So 2 into 35.5. Now this comes out to be 2 inge cancel panela. This will be 12. So 12 is 2. What is it? 35.5. Or 12 அப்படியே வச்சிருந்த 2 வந்து decimal place இல்லாம வச்சுக்கணும் whole number if you want the ratio na அப்படியே நீங்க 24:17 எடுத்துக்கிட்டாலும் it's okay தான். 71 you will get here on the right side, right? Either you could have written the answer as 24:71 or 12:35.5. Either way it is correct. So for each subdivision you'll be given 1 mark. So totally 6 marks for this question number 25. Okay, I'll write out the answers for the other parts. See, it is H2SO4. So HSO. What is the ratio? HSO 116 and 32. I'm right. I'm writing the answers alone. Okay, please make a correction. C the T, C2, H5, OH. See, carbon, it is actually 2 in number. Okay. So 2 times 12 you will put for this one. Hydrogen, this is 5 and here a one hydrogen is there. So totally எத்தனை hydrogen இருக்குமா 6 இருக்கு. So 6 times 1 ன்னு எடுத்துக்கணும். Okay. And oxygen பாத்தீங்கன்னா only 1 is there. So oxygen it is 16. I'll just place it as 16. So it is 2 into 12, 6 into 1 and then 16. Now I can cancel 2 from everything. This will be 3 and this will be 8. So here you do not have any other common factor. So your ratio will be 12:3:8. For C:2H2. See, please make sure that you write this ratio part and beneath that only you give your answer. Because you might have taken CHO. Your friend could even take it as COH, and hence the ratio would be 12:8:3. Okay. So the ratio when you're mentioning and when there are more than two elements, obviously you should have to mention which element's ratio is this part, correct? So this ratio along with which element's ratio is giving you this one, that also should be mentioned. Fine. So subdivision D, the answer is 12:3:8. E, it is NH3. So N is to H. What is the ratio you get? N is to H. 14:3. அடுத்தது F subdivision, what is that we have? CaOH twice. So CaO is 2 in number and H is also 2 in number. Correct? Huh? So when you put the ratio like that for CaOH twice, you get it as 20, 16 and 1. 20, 16, 1. Because 2 times வரும்போது அதை cancel பண்ணீங்கன்னா you will get this to be a ratio. See, what we know related to Avogadro number, 1 mole of anything will have Avogadro number of that particles, correct? So, in the question, 26th one, see, calcium chloride, when it is dissolved in water, it dissociates into its ions. So, ஒரு CaCl2, தண்ணியில நீ மிஸ் பண்ணும்போது எத்தனை ions கொடுக்குது? It is giving you 1 Ca2 plus ion and 2 Cl minus ions. So totally how many ions are there, ma? There are 3 ions contributed by 1 molecule of CaCl2. புரிஞ்சுதா? 1 molecule of CaCl2 gives you 3 ions. Fine. Now, the relevancy with this is with respect to 222 gram of CaCl2 dissolved in water. இதுக்கு நம்ம molar concept we have to go for it. Because only when you find the number of moles. ஏன்னா number of moles of CaCl2 தெரிஞ்சிருச்சுன்னா 1 mole of CaCl2 will have how many molecules of either Na molecules of CaCl2. Correct? In 1 mole of CaCl2, I will have Avogadro number of molecules of CaCl2. 1 mole of CaCl2 நாங்க என் கையில எடுக்கிறேன்னு சொன்னா அதுல எத்தனை molecules இருக்குமா? 6.022 into 10 power 23 molecules of CaCl2 இருக்கும். அத்தனை moleculesல இருந்தும் ஒரு moleculeல இருந்தும் 3 ions dissociate ஆகுதுன்னா அப்ப total number of ions என்ன? 3 times Avogadro number, okay, ions of Ca and Cl. Ca2 plus and Cl minus. மொத்தமா எத்தனை ions இருக்கு? ஒரு moleculeum 3 ions கொடுக்கும்னா மொத்த number of ions will be 3 times Avogadro number. Correct? This is related to 1 mole. So 1 mole of CaCl2 contributes 3 times Avogadro number of ions. அப்போ given number of moles, அப்ப நான் என்ன கண்டுபிடிக்கணும் இங்க? I have to calculate the number of moles. How is that I can calculate number of moles? Number of moles is nothing but equal to given mass divided by molar mass. Correct? So given mass evadama 222 gram. And what is molar mass for CaCl2? For calcium it is 40. Cl2 it will be 2 times 35.5 which is 71. So total up pannina 1 and this one will be 11. So how much? It will be 111 gram. Correct? So molar mass is going to be 111. So what is the number of moles present in 222 grams? Ma? It will be 2 moles. Total nama kaila edukra 222 grams of CaCl2 la how many moles are present? 2 moles are present. Therefore, in 2 moles, okay, of CaCl2, how many ions will be there? 2 into 3 times Avogadro number of ions will be there. Correct? So what is this? 6 times Avogadro number. This many ions will be present. This is numerical 6 into what is Avogadro number? 6.022 into 10 power 23 ions. You can multiply and write the answer. And that will be the number of ions present in 222 gram of dissolved water. Getting it? So any substance be it, நீ NaCl எடுத்து நீ waterல dissolve பண்ணினாலும் எத்தனை ions கிடைக்குமா? You will get 2 ions in one molecule. Okay. இங்க எத்தனை ions இருக்கு டோட்டலா in this much grams ன்னு கேட்டிருக்காங்கன்னா அப்ப நம்ம இத மோலார் கான்செப்டோட ரிலேட் பண்ணணும். So molar conceptோட ரிலேட் பண்ணி first of all அவங்க கொடுத்திருக்க mass 222 gramsக்கு எத்தனை moles ன்னு ரிலேட் பண்ணிருக்கோம். So 2 moles I have in hand. And I very well know that in 1 mole of CaCl2, I'll have Avogadro number of molecules of CaCl2. And each molecule will have 3 ions. 3 times Avogadro number of ions இருக்கும் தெரியும் ஒரு mole. அப்ப 2 moles எவ்வளவு இருக்கும்? 6 times Avogadro number of ions இருக்கும். Getting it? So this question carries 3 marks and all. So இதுல given mass by molar mass போட்டு இது 2 moles and calculate பண்றதுக்கு 1 mark, and totally 3 ions are present அப்படின்றத mention பண்றதுக்கு half a mark, and 1 mole of CaCl2 will have 3 times Avogadro number of ions present in it அப்படின்றத relate பண்றதுக்கு half a mark, and for the final answer it is 1 mark. Clear? So totally this question carries 3 mark in all.